is not just a job. Farming is a way of life. A desolate land is a land thirsty of farmers. And because we know how important farmers are to every nation, that's why we reintroduce to you the Voice of the Farmers. Voice of the Farmers is a media brand that celebrates, educates, and promotes farmers with constant trainees and guide on how best to be a successful farmer. We also link farmers to the right markets to sell their produce and to the right marketers. Voice of the Farmers is active on Facebook, Instagram, and Thread at Voice of the Farmers. We are also on YouTube at Voice of the Farmers TV. For more inquiry on how to link up with Voice of the Farmers, please call 0907 872 8228 or 0706 662 8752. Voice of the Farmers. We celebrate, educate, and promote farmers.
Good afternoon, everyone listening to us out there. My name is Garuba Fizolumide. I'm reporting live for Voice of the Farmer. Yes, I want to welcome us once again on this show, on this platform, where we'll be talking to farmers about some challenges and possible way out on the challenges they are facing. Now, today we are going in a different sector, which is one of the most, let me say, booming sector in the agricultural space, which is the pig farming. But looking at the challenges and what these people are facing, I think it's call for immediate attention because, to be sincere with you, they are facing a lot of things. All the sectors, let me say, the livestock farmers, they are really facing a lot of things. Yes, everybody know when it comes to the increase in the livestock feed and some other challenges. But when it comes to the pig farming, I noticed a particular challenge that they are facing, which is even aside from the feed, they have other challenges which they are facing, which I want us to discuss today and see what is the possible way out on this challenge. So if you are just joining us on this live broadcast, my name is Olumide once again, and today I will be hosting two guests, which are stakeholders, and they are pig farmers, and they are doing well, but they are from Oyo State. Now, when it comes to pig farming, we have pig farmers all over Nigeria. We have pig farming all over every state in Nigeria. So today we'll be talking to pig farmers in Oyo State, and even we have the chairman of Ogbomosho Pig Farmers, which will be talking with us today on this show. So I'll bring them on board now just for them to tell us what is happening and how they think they can tackle this problem. Yes, I'll bring them on board now. Let me just go to the backstage and at least bring them on board. So we have Mr. Adeniran, and we have the other person as well. They are also with us in the studio. So I'll be doing justice, and at least let me just make them introduce themselves so that people will know who we have in the studio today, so that we will know how to go about the interview. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Well done. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us on this live broadcast. I really appreciate at least you are prompt and you keep to time. Thank you very much for joining us. So now I'll be going straight to Mr. Adeniran. Kindly introduce yourself to people out there that are watching us. Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, my name is Adeshina. So I'm a graduate from the Department of Animal Production and Health, Ladoke Akintola University of Technology. And I've been into pig farming, I think that's since the year 2013.
2013, that is 10 years ago. That means when you're talking about pig farming, you know the in and out of pig farming. Now, let me go to my Ogapalagwada, which is Mr. Olaitan Oyekunle, sir. Kindly introduce yourself to us, sir.
Thank you, sir. My name is Olaitan Oyekunle Matthew. I am a graduate of accounting student at the Ladoke Akintola University. I happen to be in the business right from 2009, whatever. So, and then I have been in this piggery industry. So,
oh, thank you very much. I think you are missing something because you don't let. Yes, I'm going there because I want him to let people know he's not just ordinary person in the pig industry now. It has a lot of things. He's like a stakeholder and people that are at the helm of the affair. So, sir, let us know the post you are holding when it comes to pig farming in Oyo State, sir. Hello.
Okay, sir. Presently, I am the PFAN chairman in Ogbomoso and its enviro. So, I am the PFAN.
So that means when you're talking about the challenges, the success story, and everything about pig farming in your state, I know you definitely have something to say about it. But that is not where we are going now. So let me just start with this. When it comes to the issue about livestock feed, about the high cost of feed, I think it's affecting almost all the sectors, even both the aquaculture, both the poultry, or even any sector that deals with livestock. But I think what is happening in the pig sector is very, very is alarming, and it needs attention, in which it needs quick attention. So, sir, can you just tell us what is happening when it comes to the pig farming, the increase in the livestock feed now? How has it been affecting you? Let me start with Mr. Olaiton, sir.
Well, to talk about the increase in the feed in the pig industry, in fact, it is affecting us greatly. It has great impact on what we are doing in the industry. Presently, as I am rearing the pig, also I have my feed me. In fact, that one is giving us a lot of challenges. Day in, day out, the manufacturer of the PKC and the likes, now they inflate the price as they like, and then that one is giving us a lot of problem. Even though to get this PKC is a serious issue, because in our community here we don't have any industry. Now there is no a factory waste in our own community. That one,
Hmm,
it make us to base our feed basically on the PKC and the corn brown. And then to
hmm,
now get this PKC, in fact, presently, the cost of the PKC in our environment starting from 125, 126 to 129 per kg. It depends on the quality of the PKC.
hmm.
So to still get it is a big problem.
Hmm, hmm. Now, let me go to Mr. Additional. I know looking at him, he's also a consultant and also into feed milling as well. So definitely he has a lot to say when it comes to the increase in the livestock feed. So, sir, what do you want to say about this, sir?
And likewise, my Oga said, the challenges the farmers are facing is through the high cost of feeding. Because if you calculate the cost of the feed you use in order to raise an animal, now when it comes to the selling price, the two they are not the same.
Hmm,
At the end of the day, you don't make the profit. Now, from this high cost of feeding you are talking about, the quality of the feed is not even enough. Why? The protein and other mineral supplements inside the feed has been thrown out. So in
hmm,
order to meet the requirement the animal need in order to grow faster is still one of the challenges. Not ordinary the high cost of feeding, but the quality of the feed is still having another issue, which
hmm,
needs
hmm,
to be tackled.
hmm, hmm, hmm. Now, I think I understand what you are saying very well. Now, we have identified a problem, and the next thing for us to do is probably we need to provide a solution to it now. So let me ask you this question, sir, Mr. Olaiton. Have you ever
Yeah.
tried any alternative means of, when you have a problem, definitely what you'll be looking at is, even if you cannot solve the problem that you are having at hand, I said it earlier on that the livestock feed, the increase in livestock feed is just like every aspect of agriculture, probably like you're dealing with anything animal, everybody is facing it. So now, have you ever tried any alternative, probably looking for alternative so that you'll be able to find a solution to this, sir? So have you tried any alternative?
Now to get the alternative, uh, it based on the cost too, because when we are trying to get the alternative in on how to get this factory wages, factory waste. Now
Okay.
for us to transport it down to our own environment is another
Hmm,
cost.
hmm,
Now
hmm,
that one is now still bring an increase in cost incurred,
hmm,
because
hmm,
now the removal of the fuel subsidy is affecting, is alarming.
hmm,
Now it was not encouraging in order for us to go elsewhere, to go to the city like Ibadan, Lagos, to go and get the factory waste. Now before we transport it to our own hand here, now it will now be giving us high cost again. So in that case, to get another thing in order to use to reduce the feeding costs, in fact, in our own environment, is out of it, sir.
I understand what you are saying. That you say that is like you are looking for an alternative, and even looking at the cost that are going to
Yeah.
incur in bringing those alternatives down to where you are is even too expensive as well. So now let me say something about before I go to Mr. Additional. One of the things we do at the Voice of the Farmer is that we try to educate our farmers and let them know some alternative to let me say to solution to their problems. Now I want Mr. Additional to talk before I now give an idea about what I think we can do when it comes to the issue of livestock feeds now. So, Mr. Additional, so have you tried any alternative before, probably just to see can we reduce this high cost of feed? Maybe you have alternative that you probably other farmers don't know and you want to share with them.
Okay, like the issue of the feed we are talking about. Before we used to say there are so many things we call them waste, in which we can get them at either cheaper price or we get them for free. We don't use money to buy them. But now, all these things we call alternative that we can even use in order to replace one or two of the ingredients. Now, the cost you will use to get them now is even better. You make use of the feed you are buying than looking for this or that alternative. Now, let me use like cassava peel now as an example. Now, cassava peels, we more or less a waste. Sludge is also a waste. Before, nobody used money to buy all these things. Now, before you get a kg of cassava peel now with less than 2.5% crude protein, so it's even equivalent to the price of buying a kg of PKC with 18% crude protein. So instead of you going to buy this waste with money without any improvement on the animal. Now, using all these alternatives we are still talking about, most of them will still cause either damages, reduce the growth of the animal, and bring in disease, in which you use your money to buy drugs in order to treat them. That's number one. Number two is, instead of you now buying all these things, now when you give them this volume of feed with low protein content, now at the end of the day, you pack larger liters of the feed, which the yield to the animal, even with high genetic makeup of the animal, there's no result. So it's better we now stick to the feed ingredient we are using in order not to just be going for all these alternatives. There is no more waste these days because everybody is trying to make money from whatever they're having. That is one of the issues we are having. Because before, people will raise pig, they go to the environment, look for grass, look for cassava peel, look for all this, the so-called corn bran and the sludge we are talking about. We don't buy it then. So we get them at cheaper price, even for free, because some people will not want to pollute their environment. But all these things, before you see them now, you sweat. And the cost of transportation is another issue.
Now, thank you very much, Mr. Additional. So, for the purpose of people that are just joining us on this interview, we are on an interview session with Mr. Matthew and Mr. Additional. Mr. Matthew is the chairman for PIFA, that is Pig Farmers Association of Nigeria in Oyo State, where Mr. Additional is also a pig farmer and also a consultant as well. So today we are looking at the challenges in the livestock feed and what is the possible solution. I think both Mr. Additional and Mr. Matthew have spoken a lot about, even when you are talking about looking for alternative, even the alternative you are looking for now is even more expensive. So now let's just go on this short break, so that when we come back, we are going to continue with this interview. Just stay. I'm coming back, sir.
Farming is not just a job. Farming is a way of life. A desolate land is a land thirsty of farmers. And because we know how important farmers are to every nation, that's why we reintroduce to you the Voice of the Farmers. Voice of the Farmers is a media brand that celebrates, educates, and promotes farmers with constant trainees and guide on how best to be a successful farmer. We also link farmers to the right markets to sell their produce and to the right marketers. Voice of the the Farmers is active on Facebook, Instagram, and Thread at Voice of the Farmers. We are also on YouTube at Voice of the Farmers TV. For more inquiry on how to link up with Voice of the Farmers, please call 0907 872 8228 or 0706 662 8752. Voice of the Farmers. We celebrate, educate, and promote farmers.
Welcome back. We are just went for just an advert break. So and we are back now. So we are talking about the increase in the price of livestock feed, especially how it's affecting the pig farmers. Now, I think we have two topics that we want to talk about today. We are talking about the marketing aspect and also the livestock feed. Now, going back to Mr. Additional, let me ask this question: have you guys tried or have you heard about what we call BSF before? Black soldier larva fly. Have you heard about it before?
Yes.
So have you tried something like that before?
I've tried something like that. I had a friend that is rearing that black soldier fly. So we use them to feed fish. So because the protein content of these black soldier flies is around 80 to 90% crude protein. So, and the cost of buying this black soldier flies is high. That is why we cannot just recommend it to farmer, except farmer that really have interest in it, and a farmer that is having a good genetic makeup of animal that will consume this high cost of feed, and they will gain a better result. But introducing it to a farmer that is not even having a quality genetic makeup of an animal, so it's just a wasting of time.
I understand. So let me go to Mr. Olaiton. So have you heard about VSF and have you tried it before, sir?
About
BSF, that is black soldier fly. It's just like a maggot now. It's just like maggot.
Okay. I have heard of it, but I haven't tried it. I haven't tried it. In fact, one of my colleagues is telling me that he has been using it, but in his own now, he is having poultry in one side and the piggery in another side. That one make it easier for him to do. But at my own hand here, I haven't tried it.
Okay. Now, thank you very much for giving me that idea. You know what Mr. Additional said about this black soldier larva fly. So he said it's even expensive. But you know, one advice I want to give the association is this: I will be talking about the association and not individual farmers. You know, there's something we call diversification. You know, some of us are into pig farming. The only thing we do is just pig. And you know, when you don't diversify, sometimes it's going to give you, like, probably you're going to spend more. So I think the association should look into what we call production of black soldier larva fly. You know, if someone in the association is producing this thing, and you know the challenges you guys are facing, definitely, even if the person is going to sell, is not going to be selling in high cost, because now BSF is made from waste. You know, we said waste now, even it is not easy to get. Now BSF, it is made from waste and they replicate very fast. And since you know, Mr. Additional, that it has high crude protein, and you know the other one that you are even going for, that cassava peel, it doesn't have enough crude protein. That's just 2%. And this BSF have a lot of it. You know what you're just looking for is just alternative. That is just what is the okay. This thing has come and it has come to stay. How do we solve this problem? And that's why we are looking for alternative. So I want the association to also invest in probably training. Probably you need to send out some people to go and train on how to make this black soldier larva fly, because now in Lagos here there is what we call dried. You know, there is wet and there is dried. People are now even going into dried BSF now. Or some of these fish farmers, they don't buy feed again. They are using BSF now, and it is less expensive to the normal feed that they are buying. But you know, I would just advise, you know, this, instead of you going to buy it even in another outlet, the association themselves can take it upon themselves that, okay, we want to start producing this BSF. There's something we call duckweed as well. I don't know if I've heard about it. Duckweed, anybody that is doing fish pond, maybe at 18 pond, you see all this thing on the water. They call them duckweed. They are also good feed for pig, and they have high crude protein as well. You know, we are trying to look for alternative now. You know, something tell you about more. If you don't know something, probably when you see people that are telling you about what you don't know, definitely we need to just give it a try. You know, especially when you want to use duckweed now, make it dry. When you get it from the pond, go and dry it and at least give it to your animal. They're going to get it and they're going to see results. Because now, I don't know, I don't think this feed is going to come down anytime soon. Very soon, we are going to be bringing some of these vendors that sell livestock feeds. Let them also come and tell us what the challenges are, because some of them will be telling you that it is the importation of ingredients. Because some of the ingredients they are using, they said they are importing it from outside the country. And let us look at the foreign exchange, that is the dollar rate now. And you know, normally as a business person, it is what you buy that you're going to sell. So why we are looking at how to reduce the price now? Why can't us look into other alternative way? That is what I'm saying now. Okay, let the association, that is the PFN, that is Pig Farmer Association of Nigeria, let them look into how they can also start producing their own BSF as well. You know, when you go for training, you'll be taught on how to do it. And when you start doing it, even if Mr. Matthew is doing it on his farm, Mr. Additional is doing it, Mr. B is doing it, everybody knows that okay, I have something to feed my, you know, you may not be using it every day, probably maybe using it as supplement, but it's going to reduce your cost of production. That is just that about that. So let us go to the aspect of the marketing aspect now, because I know that is where you people are having a serious problem, because you are going to feed your animal with high cost of feed, and when you want to sell, they will buy anyhow from you. So let me go to Mr. Olaiton. I know he has experience in all these things. So how has been the marketing of the pig, or let me say the pork in Ogumosho, or let me say in your state? What price range are they buying from you? Can you augment it with the price that you are buying the feed? Do you even make gain from it at all? So let's start it from there, sir.
You see, presently, with the present cost of buying, that is 1,100. In fact, it's not encouraging. Last week, our selling rate is 1,015 naira, but this week we are selling at 1,100. Even though now we've released information before that we are going to sell at rate of 1,500 naira, but the agents and those people that come down from Warri, they are not in line with us with that price, so that we just let it go at the at 1,100 presently now. Already, I believe that this price is not encouraging, and then the farmer is not making any profit when you sell at this 1,100. But we don't have choice presently, because formally, when these people come and buy, now they will come down with their cars, meet us in the farm, and then they will pay to us immediately in the farm. But now it is not like that again. Now it's between the buyer and the agent. So the buyer, we may not see them now, but we can see the agent now. When they move out our animal, now they are the one to pay the farmer. So, and then the cost of buying now is not encouraging, and then we don't make any profit on it presently. So the farmer is having an issue with the selling rate of per kg of animal weight. So that is that.
So, Mr. Additional, what do you want to say about what Mr. Matthew just said? Now, do you have anything to say about that, sir?
Currently, I have speak as a leader, but let me just speak to my own point of view as a member of the association. So the possible way to solve this issue is just to bridge the gap, as we all know that pig is not generally acceptable to all men.
Yeah.
Not everybody consumes pig. That is one of the challenges, not only the marketing aspect. Now, from the marketing aspect, now the issue is we just need to bridge the gap between the farmer, the middleman, and the buyer. As my oga said, we don't see the buyers. We see the middlemen, which some of them happens to be among us. In the olden days, when we joined the business, the buyers will come to your farm. If you sell your pork, your pig, even by 1 a.m. in the midnight, they get to your farm. You collect your money that night. But the issue is not that they buy today, they pay you immediately. They might buy, it may take a week, 3 days, 2 days, some days before they pay you. That's one of the issues. The current price they are buying is not favorable at all. Now, before you can feed an animal to achieve
1 kg. Animal with good genetic makeup can convert the weight. Let me say 2 to 3 days, we give you 1 kg. Which one animal might eat minimum of 3 kg, 2.5 to 3 kg per day. Imagine preparing that feed with 100 and let me just say 120 naira with the current price now. That's not a quality feed though. Now, let me just say 120 naira per kg of a feed. Multiply it. Now, if you now multiply 9 kg which the animal will consume in order to gain 1 kg is around 1,001 something we are talking about, which some animal will not even make the kg we are talking about. So the gap should be bridged between the farmer, the agent, and the middlemen, which we always see. And the only possible way to do this is from the association. When we form a formidable body, now they can just come in through this body. Now that one is another issue. The second issue we are facing, the Igbos, which is the agent, they are still buying better price. Which those that slaughter around us, they are buying lesser price, below 1,000 naira. You don't have choice. You have larger numbers of animal. You don't have feed. We cannot ask you to keep your animal. You have to say. They will come, they will say that you are buying 800 naira. Now, the issue of this, when your animal grow up, is another issue. Then the second issue is the issue of we farmer. When you want to sell, the issue is it is not the farmer that determines the price. It is the buyer that will determine the amount they are going to pay. So if you as a farmer do not succumb to their price, that means you are not selling. Now, so this thing is just something that is not normal. So it is until when we come together that everybody can speak with one voice. And when we speak with this voice, there's no going back. So that is the two issues we are having. We need to bridge the gap. And farmers, so when we use other livestock aspects, when you want to buy egg, it is not the buyers that will say this is the amount I will buy. It is the farmer that want to sell the egg. Now, when you want to buy the feed, it is the feed miller that will tell you we are selling the kg of cake, PKC, at the rate of 125 naira, 126 naira. So farmer cannot tell the buyers, I'm selling my pig 1,250 naira. So they will leave your side. So we need to work from that aspect. So if we now see that individually, we cannot tackle that. So we need to come together. Another thing we are having with these marketing challenges is the type of farmers we are having. Some people, it is not a mere business to them. So it is that is what they are doing. So anytime they need money, they just come back, they sell it. Whether they sell it in loss or they make profit, some people do not know. So if those set of farmers start aside, then those that took pig business as pig farming as a business come aside. And now those two things can work. So if those two things we do not solve them, this issue will continue going. So bridging the gap between the farmer, the agent, and the middleman, then the type of the farmers we have, and who will now determine the price. Is it the farmer or is it the buyer? Thank you.
Now, thank you very much. I really appreciate the fact that you helped me to even analyze and at least expatiate more on this. Now, talking about, let me go back to Mr. Olaito now. Now, sir, I think I want to ask this question, sir. So, what is the association doing about bridging the gap between the agent? Because let me tell you, in Lagos State here, I think I'm hearing this for the first time. Probably it might be existing, but maybe I may not know. But I think I'm hearing this for the first time, that we have an agent that will stand as a mediator between the farmers and the buyer. Because I'm very sure if you are selling to the mediator, that is the agent, at the rate of 1,015 and 1,001, they will never sell to the buyer at that rate at all. So now, we just need to come into an agreement that, okay, you are the agent, we have the increase in the livestock feed, and we are also buying this thing is getting expensive. Can we have a negotiation that, okay, let's sell to you at 1,200 naira, or let's sell to you at 1,300, you sell to the buyer at 1,500? I'm just saying now. So what is the association doing about, because according to what Mr. Adesina said, he said the way to bridge that gap, or the solution to this is by bridging the gap between the agent, the farmer, and the buyer. Now, so what is the association doing about this, sir?
Based on this, we are trying our best. And then we do have a meeting with this agent in order to let them know the price that we intended to sell. So, and then when we give them the price, they will now take it to the buyer in order to negotiate, because they are the one that usually go and meet them at their own environment there at Worry and the likes. So, and then with that, now they will not bring us the feedback in order to let us know what is their agreement. But let me say this thing. Now,
Okay.
as my brother has early said, we have problem. Now, you see, the problem of Ogbomoso and its enviro cannot be compared with Lagos, because now in Lagos they are doing a cluster farming. Now, the piggery association, they are in a group, they are in a single area. But here in Ogbomoso, we are in different area and different angle. Now, that one is not make it easy for the association to have a good control on each farmer. Because when there is a farmer in Aruje, there is one in Iluju here, difference of 3 to 4 miles. So now, for us to now see what is going on in every angle is an issue. And then many people, let me say many farmers, they are just selling as at their own wish price. Even though when the association is saying we are selling at this so rates, we will still see some farmers selling below the par, which is not encouraging. And then it has been said that we have different type of farmer. And then those farmer that is doing that, they are the farmer that they don't take this business as a real business. They just see it as a where they will just put their money and then go back in the next 3-4 months to go and get their money back. They are not after the profit, whether they make profit or not. They are more or less concerned. So all those farmers, they are the brain behind this kind of selling that we are having. If at all, now those farmers are no more in the business. In fact, this business will be more or less okay than how it is presently now. So that is it.
Okay. Now, let me come in that aspect. It's like you have identified the problem. You said we have some, let me say, farmers that doesn't even take this business as a business. Probably they have other business they're doing. They're just using this pig, and they're the one probably that the one even causing this problem. And according to what Mr. Adesina said, he said even the people that the slaughter, that is the people that sell at the end now, probably they buy from you and they slaughter it probably in Ogbomoso. They are even buying in a low price compared to all these Igbos now. And let me tell you something, probably maybe you don't know. You know, these people that are slaughtering now, they are making more money than you guys. They are making more money. Normally, it's normal for them to make money, but they are even making more money than you, because if they are selling to them at the rate of, let me give you an example of what is happening in Lagos State here, because we are having the same issue when it comes to the pig farming. You know, now probably they will be selling at 1 kg by, let me say, 1,002, 1,003. Even they are trying to make it to 1,005. And when you go to the pork store, probably you want to buy, they will sell to you at 2,200 naira per kg. Look at the gap, look at the difference. And now, you know, the thing is this. You see, we have already said the problem that we have some farmers, because when I come to you and I said I want to buy pig, and you said, okay, I'm selling my own at 1,005 per kg, and I go to Mr. Adesina and he said, okay, I'm selling to you at 800 naira per kg. Normally, as a farmer, who are you going to buy from? Is it not Mr. Adesina? So I think what we just need to do is this. Let me just give us an idea about what we can do just to solve this problem. Is there's something we call awareness, and there's something we call enforcement. You know there is a difference between the two. Awareness and enforcement is different. When you are enforcing something, okay, you say you want to sell at 1,500 naira, all the members must sell at 1,500 naira. That is not going to work. If you cannot enforce me now, you are not the one that buy pig for me, and you are not the one that is feeding my pigs for me. Did you get it? But when there is an enlightenment, when there is an awareness about the effect, because these farmers, they don't know, when you sell at a bad price, there is every tendency that you are not going to go back into that business again. Let's say you start a business with 50,000 naira and you sell anyhow. You don't even think of the gain. You don't even think of the cost of production, your feed, and everything. There's every tendency that you are going to move out of the business because you are not making gain at all. But some people, they might not even know that what they are doing is bad. But that is where the association is going to come in. When there is thorough awareness. And secondly, I don't know if Ogbomoso PFAN is just centralized, like we only have for Ogbomoso. Do we have for each local government? Because you said something that we can have a farmer in Aroje, we can have in Iluju, we can have in Aromole. How do we want to come together? Do we have PFAN in each local government? Probably, maybe there's going to be a monthly meeting that will bring everybody together in Ogbomoso. Like, okay, this is PFAN Ogbomoso meeting. Okay, PFAN Aromole, they are meeting. Probably there will be a day that they are going to take to meet. So I think if you decentralize the association, okay, you at your zone, you can do your meeting, you can make law, you can do this. It's just for us to carry us along at the PFAN Ogbomoso. I think if you are doing that as well, it's going to work. But majorly, I want us to think about awareness, not enforcement. Because when you enforce, it will not work. Because you cannot force Mr. Additional to sell at your price. Even if you force me, if I don't sell during the day, I can sell at night now, and you will not know how much I sell. And nobody cares about if I make gain or not. I don't know if I get it. So I'm trying to, everything I'm saying is I'm talking about association, because individual farmer cannot do it, because we have many farmers. But if the association is strong and we are ready to make this thing work, I believe gradually, 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 we are going to achieve our aim. So, sir, what do you want to say about this, sir? Because I think if we decentralize your Ogbomoso PFAN and make sure maybe we have cluster, we have in maybe Aromole, we have in Ogbomoso South, we have in Ogbomoso North, we have in Surulere, all those stuff. We now bring them together, maybe at the monthly meeting. Probably, I think that is going to work. So, what do you think about that, sir?
Well, it's a good idea, and then which we have been uh, nurturing before, because presently we have a platform for each local government. For each
Okay.
local government, Ogbomoso South and North, that one is together, Ogoluwa separately, Surulere separately, then Orire separately. Already, there are some things we have to put together that we haven't. We're supposed to have an executive in each local government in order to work for us in each local government and bring the report down to the central level. But we are yet to do that one, in which I
Okay.
believe sooner or later that one will be done. So I think it's a good idea to have uh, to break it down as we have it in
Exactly.
mind before, and then
Exactly.
to carry it out by
So,
His grace.
okay, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate your effort and at least for you giving me your time. But now let me just have a summary about what we just discussed now, because I want us to take note of this livestock feed and the alternatives, sir. So I don't know if the association is going to take it upon themselves and see how we can start working about BSF, at least thinking about how can we start producing BSF ourselves in our association. I think if we look into that, it's going to be like an alternative for us as well, for us to see how we can solve our problems. And talking about the duckweed too, Mr. Adesina, I want you to work on this, sir. Please try and make research on duckweed, maybe the dried one, and see how it works, maybe on your pig, and see probably if it's going to give you the result that you're looking at. Because when I'm talking about sustainability now, everybody needs to look at how to cut down on their cost now, because it is very important. When the cost of production is increasing, definitely it is very sure that the farmer is going to go out of the business. According to what you told me sometimes, you said even some farmers have even shut down because they could not even afford to buy the feed, and they could not even afford to meet up with the demand. So, sir, please let us look into this as PFAN in Ogbomoso. Let's look at how we can start doing that, what we call that pacification. I know some of you have feed mill. Yes, I know. And this BSF that you're talking about can be used as some of the ingredients that we are using for the feed mill. instead of buying soya beans, instead of buying PKC. Since they are going to replenish, they are going to give you the crude protein that you want. You can start using BSF. It's just for you to dry it and give you what you want. So please let us look at this as an association and see how we can solve our problem. So I want to say this before I go. Now I know everything is going to come down very soon, because I know one of the problems that we are having is because of this removal of subsidy. Because all of us are talking about transportation. All these Igbo, they will transport to Warri, all these this they will transport. So everybody is definitely working with transportation, because and you are going to remove every cost of production, every cost that you incur. You are going to remove it on everything that you are producing. Definitely, we need to look at how we can also find solutions that I believe very soon, if the present administration is helping us out on how to reduce this cost of living, because everybody is really suffering. Let me just be sincere with you. Both the farmers and the non-farmers, they are suffering, but I think it's affecting the farmers more than even the people that are not even in the agribusiness. So I think what they need to do is just they should help us to look at how they can reduce the cost of living, the subsidy removal that they reduce. They're just giving us palliative that is not even getting to anybody at all. So I think it's just few people that are getting those palliatives. So please let us look into all these things by ourselves and see how we can solve the problem ourselves. So before I leave and before I go, I want Mr. Adesina to just give us probably an advice, maybe to all pig farmers probably that are still in the business, and to farmers that are probably, because of the way they sell, they are even affecting others as well. So I want you to just give us like an advice to farmers that are selling in the wrong price, sir.
Okay, since the issue still remain the same, in which we hope the issue will solve very soon. And in the case of pig industry, we don't have what we call the centralized market, like those selling ruminant pig, cow, and other animals. They do bring it to the market. We cannot do that. Now, one thing we need to do is to create what we call demand. And how can we do this? Farmers can reduce their stock. Now, when we reduce our stock now people will come. When they come, you insist you are selling this so price. They went to another person and the person is not ready to sell because we do not have larger numbers of animals that will be giving us headache. So when we reduce the cost, the demand when we reduce the animal we have, the demand will be high and we can sell at the price. But having 50 animal, 100 animal, and somebody tell you not to sell, that we are selling this so amount, that will not help. But if we reduce the numbers of animal we have, that will increase the demand. Now, from the increasing of the demand, so the price can now go up. Farmer can now determine the price they want to sell. But if we all have larger numbers of animals with us, so it is still the agent, the buyers, that will determine the price, not the farmer.
Thank you very much. I think I get something from what you said now, and my advice is just that everybody cannot go into production of pig. It is not compulsory. Some of us can go into another business. Even if you want to remain in pig business, you can go into the processing aspect. That is the pork. Maybe you are slaughtering, you are processing, and you are making other things for me. We have what we call value chains. Let the people that are into this pig rearing be reduced according to what you said, so that we are going to increase the demand, and at least we'll be able to have control over our price. So, sir, go back to Mr. Okay, you want to say something, sir? Okay.
Yes, sir. Now, one of the issues is this. Here, when we raise the pig, we only raise them for meat consumption. And that's one of the issues we're having. In all these developing countries, they raise pig for different purposes. Some raise it because of the fur. Some people raise it because of the fat, the oil they will derive from the animal. Some people raise it because of the sausage, while some raise it because of the meat production. But the only production we have is meat consumption. That is where we are having the challenge.
Now, also, Mr. Lighton, please say something while we round up with this interview, sir.
Well, as my brother, as I earlier said, to create an artificial scarcity, that is one of the best way, because when we have a large animal on ground, whether we like it or not, it will sell at the price the buyer intended to buy. So, but when there is a kind of artificial method, for each farmer to reduce the animal as at this present time, in order for them to increase their price. When they go around and then they don't see the animal to buy, so whether they like it or not, they will be forced to increase the price for the farmer, because
thank you very much, Mr. Molaito. I think okay, he's back. Hello.
I think
hello.
Yeah.
I think the network. Okay.
Okay, I think it's a good idea in which we have to do. So may God help us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adeshino and Mr. Olaiton. I really appreciate the fact that you give me your time so that we'll be able to discuss and at least identify the problem and provide a solution. And from the interview that we had, I think one of the solutions to the problem is we are talking about creating an artificial scarcity for pigs. Because when we have too much pigs, and probably the agents know if they don't get on your farm, they will go to another farm and get the numbers of pigs they want, which make them to even buy at any price. But now when we have what we call artificial scarcity, I think it's going to be like a solution to the pricing. And also we spoke about the looking at diversification, other value chains as well. As Mr. Adeshino said, we are just rearing pig, especially in this our southwestern part, for just meat, where some other parts of the country they rear it for different things, for fat, for the poor, and for other things as well. I think we also need to look into that as well, because diversification is very, very important for sustainability. And I also spoke about production of and the alternative means of producing our livestock feed, which is the BSF and the dog food as well, which I want us to look into, because when we look into this and we have a good this thing from it, I think it's going to be an alternative for us. Thank you very much for joining us on this interview this evening. I really appreciate your effort, all the way from Ugumosho there. That is the work of technology, it's just as if we are together in the same place. So thank you very much for joining us, and I want to appreciate your effort, and I pray that very soon every issue that we have in this our livestock industry is going to go into an end. I remember humble self once again. If I just join us, we are just concluding an interview with Mr. Olaitan Oyekunle, which is the president of PIFAN in Ugumosho, and also Mr. Adeshino, who is a pig farmer and a consultant when it comes to piggery and other livestock feed in Ugumosho as well. So you can contact him and at least ask questions on what you need to know when it comes to livestock feeds. My name is Olumide once again. I'm reporting live for Voice of the Farmer. At Voice of the Farmer, we just try to educate, celebrate, and promote our farmers. And part of the thing we are doing is educating them and letting them know the challenges they have and what are the possible solutions. Till we meet again next time on this show, probably some other time again, I say thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Farming is not just a job. Farming is a way of life. A desolate land is a land thirsty of farmers. And because we know how important farmers are to every nation, that's why we reintroduce to you the Voice of the Farmers. Voice of the Farmers is a media brand that celebrates, educates, and promotes farmers with constant trainees and guide on how best to be a